So Danny, I know that we started playing when we were 14 as a drummer,
Right.
and then you moved to guitar.
Right.
What was the transition? I mean, any particular reason? I just don't feel like playing drums, or
A place to live.
okay.
We lived in a two-family flat, and we had this Irish landlady, and I had to put dish towels over the heads of my drums so that I could play. And my mom had to get her out of the house for me to practice. And so she finally, you got a set of drums in the basement. She wasn't real quick. But so she finally caught on, and she told my mom and I, she said, well, Pat was living at home at the time as well. She said, if I hear you play those blankety-blanking drums anymore, your family's out on the street.
Oh, my, can't have that. Yeah.
So
But
Pat,
then she threatened to throw us out in the street a whole lot of times.
right. Well, Pat was giving guitar lessons to some friends of mine.
Oh, that's right.
And so I'd go up and watch him give guitar lessons.
Uh-huh.
And then when he would leave, I would go over what he taught these guys. And so he
And
was,
it's funny, I had no idea that he was,
That he was
that's
doing
why
it.
he was in there. I just thought
Ah.
he was hanging because it was his buddies I was teaching.
Right.
guitar.
right.
They didn't learn much, but he
Obviously, he did very well. Right.
So after a while, I just transitioned over to guitar. As a matter of fact, the first band I played in with Max hired me because we were friends. I had an amp with no speaker, and I bought I think I bought a 335. Yeah, the one you let get stolen.
I knew I had that.
Okay, so we had the one that what happened?
I've never lived it down.
The 335, nice guitars.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that nice. It
It
wasn't
wasn't
that
one of the
nice.
He had
That's-
one just like it.
It wasn't one of the better
Yeah.
ones.
One, but right.
But at any rate, so that was my transition. But I still play guitar like a drum. I hear it as a drummer.
Right.
Kevin, our drummer, Kevin Sanders, was his pride. He used to say, "I'd rather play drums with Danny than a good bass player." He said because he's so rhythmic and
Got the
he's-
rhythm, right.
Yeah, and he
Right.
said what we do together. He said then when you add a bass player into that, I mean it's just like a freight train coming at you.
Now, you guys started in '72 and then you ended in '82.
Yes.
Was just we've had enough, or do you need a break, or?
Well, that was what happened. Was I left, and then they did stay together, not as Mama's Pride. They called it the Pride, but I had gotten married. I had one child, and I think the other was on the way because he was born in '82, so or was immediately thereafter.
Right.
And I just the lifestyle was getting me. I was working 3 to 5 nights a week, and I was out real late. And
Money wasn't that great either.
no, it wasn't. And,
No, it just wasn't.
and my wife at that time, I mean, she worked during the day, so I had to get up with the kids. So I'm getting home at 3 and 4 in the morning, and I'm having to get up at 8 o'clock with the kids, and be coherent enough
Right.
to take care of them. And I thought, you know what, I'm done.
Done.
And there really wasn't a lot going on. We were at a studio trying to come up with new songs, and the hair bands and different things was coming in.
That's what I was just going to mention. That was a transition of style and music, because I had a band, Breedlove, at pretty much the same time, Southern rock.
Right.
Actually, in the '80s. I think or late '79. I think it was that was a 3-guitar band, phenomenal.
Right.
But we had such a hard time getting booked or playing because
Yeah.
you had Blondie coming up. You had
And disco was still
yeah,
very
it-
strong at that time.
and just that genre,
Right.
genre of music was
More show bands. It was
Exactly.
more about the show than the go, and I think for all of us, it was one of those things where, you have a record company fly in on a Friday and go, man, yeah. And I mean,
We have a caller coming in.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think. Hello.
either
This is Bobby Mick. You're on the radio.
Yeah, is this the Bob show?
This is the Bob show. This is Bobby Mick with the Edge. I'm sitting here with.
Yeah, great. Is Pat and Danny Lipson in the studio with you today?
Well, yeah. Actually, they're outside in the trunk, but yeah, I'll go get them for you. No, yeah, they're in the studio right now.
Man, how exciting! I just wanted to hey to them. I'm real huge fans of Mama's Pride. Always have been.
Well, we appreciate that. What's your name?
Yeah, my name's Louie. Yeah, I even I've had a chance to come down and see you guys at when you was at the pageant there back in December.
Oh, cool.
What an incredible show, you guys. That was fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, we love doing those shows. I think what makes them different now than before is we really appreciate being able to do it. We treasure our craft as opposed to take it for granted. You know, when you're 25, 30 years old, it's like, you know, I think in 10 years, well, I'm 57, brother. I ain't saying it. It's like, you know what? I'm going to carpe diem, Jack. I'm
Yeah.
seizing the moment.
Right.
And I think the whole band feels that way.
Oh, absolutely. You kidding? I did even when
Well,
I'm doing my solo stuff. I'm not.
I can tell you what, the band sounded just as good as it ever did back in the old days when I used to see you guys all around on the rock road and everything. I wanted to tell Pat, man, that scream and Blue Mist, man, you sound just as good as ever. Wow! It was blood-curdling, man. It was great.
Well, actually, Lou, I think you sound better than he does.
Hey, I'm always surprised when it comes out. Believe me.
No way. And Danny, the way he was wailing on the guitars there and you guys were all trading off, it was so exciting. And I'm glad to see you guys are still out there doing it after all these years. I'll surely be at every show that I can make it to because you guys are incredible still.
Well, thank you, Louie. We appreciate that. You know what? And not to sound like cliche-ish, but that's one of the things that does keep us going. You know, it's like nobody wants to play to an empty house. And if you got people that are willing to come out and spend this time, take this portion of their life and let you do what you're most passionate about doing. It's like I've had people go, so when are you guys going to quit? It's like when it quits being passionate.
Right.
You know, you don't usually
Nah,
you quit your passion when you quit breathing. So that's
Yeah,
probably
right.
what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
It won't go away till we will.
Right.
But you know, people
Right.
who are
Well,
willing to come down and share that portion of their life with us because we get to do that, brother, you have no idea how much we appreciate that.
Well, I know you guys will never quit, man, because the band always still sounds great. I just wanted to call in and yell hey to you guys because I think you're awesome, and good luck with all the projects coming up. And I know you're very busy with the interview right now. I just wanted to call in and express my thoughts. So thanks, Bob, for letting me call in, and I love your show. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Lou.
Appreciate it.
We ain't never that busy, Lou.
Thank you very much.
Christmas at my house.
Thank you very much. Wow! There goes Pat, man.
I don't know.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Was on your heel.
Thank you.
I think so, boy. That sounded pretty good. Studio next week.
Thank you very much. Bye
All
bye.
right.
That's awesome. Now you guys have a really rich history.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Great players. And what was that like? You know, backing up, say the Allman Brothers.
Oh, you know what, man? For us, it was surreal. You know, people go, well, you know, you probably get used to it. You never get used to that.
Right.
People that are your heroes, that were your influences.
Yeah, because we backed up Greg for it was almost a year off and on in '78, and I told him one time, you know, because he was talking about there was a fan that had, you know, was fawning over him, you know,
Right.
and I said, Greg, I'm impressed being with you. He said, oh man, don't say that. I said, what do you mean? And he had told me a story one time when he was with Cher out in California, how Ray Charles was on her show and she called him up to come down because apparently she couldn't understand him or something. And
That is what he said.
he was just thrilled. I mean, he said it was, and I told him, I said, well, for these people, Greg, you're their Ray Charles.
Yeah.
And he acted really surprised. He goes, really? And I'm thinking, this guy's been in this business all his life and he
Right.
doesn't get the fact that you're a star.
He's an icon.
Right.
Right.
And he was like traveling with a rock and roll Presley. I mean, people, because he'd walk in that long blonde hair,
Yeah.
and people would just be
Mes-
awestruck.
just
you know?
mesmerized.
Right.
Wow.
But you know what's cool about him is, and I mean, this was legit. People would come up to us in a restaurant and they go, where do I know you from? He'd go, I don't know, I play keyboards for Mama's Pride. No, that's not it. He'd go, well, that's what I do. He was never, ever on an ego trip.
Right.
He loved playing music. If he could have gone from the stage to obscurity, he'd have been the happiest guy.
The best show we ever did with him was at the old Collinsville Park Ballroom. And the guy that owned it at the time thought that because it was Greg Allman, he didn't have to advertise. There was like 100 people showed up. That was it. So I went back, I told Greg, I said, look, I was so angry. The guy wanted to kill it. I said, Jesus could be here, but if nobody knows you,
right, exactly.
And
He is there next week.
and
by the way.
that's what I heard, yeah.
Plug
And so I said, if you don't want to do this, I'll explain. I said, people will understand. I wouldn't. And he was very cool. He said, Pat, never punish those that came to see you. And I went, okay, I'm
Okay,
good.
that's
You know,
it. Tune
we
it
went
up.
out, and that was the best show he'd ever done because I think with 100 people, it was like almost like back in the old days.
Right.
And he was on. I mean, he was just electric. He was having so much fun with this 100 people that they just all rushed the stage and just sat down because they could do that in there because 100 people was nothing.
What, private concert, right?
Yeah, it was like a living room
And I
concert. with Greg
still
Allman.
get people coming up that come out to my solo things that'll say they were there that night and what a great show it was,
Well, you know what? You've been holding that thing here for a little bit.
Well, this is Pat's.
okay.
This is how I got into band. I hold his guitar.
Is that what you do? The roadie?
Yeah. Andy, tune him up for me.
Can you tune it up for me? But I'd love to have you guys play something. Any particular one you're going to play for us?
I don't know. We hadn't really given it a head a lot of thought.
We brought the guitars, but hadn't given it much
Okay,
thought.
we're looking important right now.
Yeah.
That's right. It looks good. Were you into?
Well, what do you got up there?
Well, I don't really have anything up there. It's just a. I mean, we'd ideally do something we both know.
When you hit a D chord, I'm good with that.
Okay, everybody out there, you guys are going to get a real treat. This is Mama's Pride, up and close here,
This is
personal.
I got it up here.
It's a minor.
I know, but I was just. I do that live so they don't know. Right?
I'm ready.
I do it. Do you want me to do a finger picking style or flat pick?
It's up to you. It's your song.
Standing on a bus line, waiting for the number 39 to take me home for the last time. Hoping for the morning rain to fall upon my face, so that it would erase the teardrops in my eyes. 'Cause there's a blueness in the air, there's a feeling in my heart that I can't share, and there's a teardrop running down my cheek, and I can't even speak when I think of you. We were brought together because of the stormy weather. 'Cause when the weather got better and the sun came, you were gone. You could never make it because you tried to fake it. Then let a stranger come and take it all away. I can't live without you, though I often think about you and wonder what had happened that you tried. You can't live without me, I know this to be true, so I'm giving this song to you to hurt your pride. Yeah, yeah, 'cause there's a blueness in the air, there's a feeling in my heart that I can't share, and there's a teardrop running down my cheek, and I can't even speak when I think of you.